Hello, and welcome to Progressive Behavior. I'm your host, Iryna, board certified behavior analyst from Fort Collins, Colorado. Today I would like to do a short segment to discuss a very important topic. As a behavior analyst, I always look for human behavior that is causing particular problems, and my job is officially to eliminate problem behaviors. So when I see what is happening all over the world, and by that I mean I'm talking about the battle of capitalism versus everything else, the first thing that comes to mind, the explanation for why this is happening, comes down again to human behavior. Capitalism itself is a product of human behavior. It has been shaped over time in order to make as much money as possible for one group of people at a cost of exploiting another group of people. That is basic knowledge. Everyone understands that. That is the system of capitalism. It's all about passive income. So we see that really this is all about access to money, to large sums of money. And this is exactly what we're going to be talking about. We will be talking about the addiction, the behavioral addiction, how human beings become addicted to the most potent reinforcer that exists currently in our society. And that is behavioral addiction to money. Let's talk a little bit about potency of reinforcement. In behavior analysis, and as a behavior analyst, I know very well that potency of reinforcement is going to make or break whether my interventions are going to be effective or not, because for some kind of behavior to be learned, I have to reinforce it, and the reinforcement has to be of high quality enough that the organism will actually behave for it. So when we look at money is actually what we call a generalized reinforcer, a secondary reinforcer. It's different for primary reinforcement like air, water, nutrition, social attention, things that we need to survive, without which our bodies will begin to fail. But secondary reinforcement are reinforcements that have been learned through an organism's life to be associated with reinforcement, and therefore the item or something becomes a reinforcer, even though technically you don't really need to survive. Hence, money. When you just look at what money is, it's paper and coins. Perhaps they can be digital currency, but all it is, it's just a stimuli. It's a piece of paper, or it's something physical, or it's something non-physical, like your credit card. But what makes money a much more potent reinforcer than anything else in the world is that these stimuli can be exchanged for any kind of reinforcement. Money can be exchanged for water. Money can be exchanged for oxygen. Money can be exchanged for boats, planes, countries, large properties, rivers. Anything that exists on the planet can be basically bought with money. This makes money an extremely dangerous drug. It's almost like a drug. We become addicted to money just as we become addicted to any other substances. Our bodies are addicted because it's reinforcing. As well as money will help you get all the 4 functions of behavior. And if you look down on a couple of more videos, you'll see a video on functions of behavior. We have function of attention. When you are wealthy, you will get a lot of social attention. It will get a function of escape from unwanted or aversive activities or stimuli, which means you don't have to work as hard. You will avoid physical labor. You can get a maid to clean up your house. You can avoid that. So you have freed up time for activities that you want to partake in. So those 2 functions are done. Then we have access to tangibles. Any kind of items can be obtained as long as you have enough money, no matter how wild your imagination is. As long as it exists, it can be purchased with money, or as long as it can be made. And the last one is the automatic reinforcement. It feels good to participate in some kind of activity, and in this case, just having money, because it completes all of those other functions, it also starts to feel good to be wealthy. And you want to protect that state because your body is being reinforced for engaging in capitalism or whatever it is you're doing in order to become extremely wealthy, we all understand what's happening, especially science of behavior analysis. This is extremely reinforcing. But what we are doing right now as a society is allowing people who are basically addicted to something like money, and their behavior of getting the money is right now hurting a bigger part of the world, the working class, the working poor, the poor, people who are getting exploited in other countries to work for minimum wage, all to satisfy this one addiction to generalized reinforcement. And no human stands a chance without prior education, understanding what they're really dealing with, and understanding how dangerous and addictive access to large sums of money can be. They fall for this. And this is what America is. This is a country where we reinforce the idea that generalized reinforcement such as money is the most important thing. It is the most reinforcing thing. We basically accepted it, and we admitted that our addiction is going to drive our society. Imagine if, for example, if it wasn't money for 1 second, if it was drugs, and people who were really addicted to drugs were dictating to us that their addiction to drugs is the most important thing in the world, and all of the rest of the society should align with what they think is good for them. We would definitely not stand for it. But money is something that we all can be addicted to. We all need it. We all use it. This is what we as a society agreed on we will use in order to reinforce each other's behavior. The hard workers should get, the result of their hard work. The people who are lazy, who do not want to get up and work, should get less. But everything has been flipped because of the addiction to money. The smartest people became addicted to money as well. And they've used their knowledge of human behavior, of finance, of government, of writing laws with one purpose, and that is to continue the access to large amounts of these generalized reinforcement, because that can later be exchanged for anything else. So what we are actually battling when we're battling capitalism, we're not just battling an idea or a system or some kind of an argument. We're actually battling an addiction of a very small group of people in the world who are hopelessly addicted to generalized reinforcement. What we really need to do as a society is address this addiction and understand that at the cost of them satisfying their addiction, the whole world is being destroyed. So will we allow this behavioral addiction to go on? Will we excuse it as just a right to be wealthy and happy? Or will we actually accept what is happening, that capitalism is a product of human behavior, of humans who are addicted to continuously acquiring generalized reinforcement? They cannot stop. Like a drug addict cannot stop doing drugs without help, without their family support, without others people stepping up and expressing how this addiction is affecting everyone else around the person. If we start treating capitalism as a disease, if we start making it illegal for people to engage in hoarding of monetary money and cash and property and everything that needs to be shared in order to have a prosperous society, only then can we really start making changes. Until then, no matter what party, no matter what kind of system we're employing, if we are reinforcing the idea that one can actually fall and engage in their addiction to money as much as they can, and no one can tell them otherwise, foolish. Everyone will end up getting hurt, just like with a case of a person who's addicted to drugs, and if no one addresses it, eventually all of people around that person will suffer, including the person themselves. Even though they themselves don't understand that they're suffering, they're addicted to the drug, they like it, they enjoy it, they believe 120% that it is their right to engage in this addiction. Thank you for listening. Subscribe. See you soon. Bye-bye.